And suddenly, to my surprise, he did the mash. He did the monster mash. The monster mash. Be-doo-doo, 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 be-doo-doo. 1, 2, Barnabas is coming for you. 3, 4, I'm already at your door. Wait. 3, 4, better lock your door. There it is. 5, 6, Scooby-Dooby, Scooby-Dooby-Doo, Scooby-Dooby, Scooby-Dooby-Doo. If there's something weird and it don't look good, who you gonna call? Ghostbusters! I ain't afraid of no ghosts. I ain't afraid of no ghosts. Ah, what a nice relaxing shower. Have you been here this whole time? What are you doing? Get out! Hello, my dear Franken friends, and welcome to Spookyou, your one-stop shop for all things ghastly and ghoulish. I'm your host, Barnabas Vixen, and honestly, I kind of wish they'd told me I'd be cutting an intro instead of letting me believe this was my day off! Close your Barnabas. Together. Anyways, I'm sure you're here for a story. So let me pass things on over to our vivacious voiceover virtuoso, Trey Falco, while I finish relaxing. Oh yeah, curated by our Weavers of Woe, scary and terrifying story, blah 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 blah. You know how it goes. Now get out of here before I lose my temper. It happened during the storm. My town was never big and definitely never popular. In fact, I don't even think it's on any standard maps, which could explain why no one else knows about this. The day started normally. No abnormalities on the radar, not even a single cloud in the sky. The temperature was an even 70 degrees with a cool breeze blowing from the north. One thing was slightly off. The songbirds stopped singing. In fact, it was almost as if they disappeared altogether. You know something's wrong when there's no birds. They say animals have a sixth sense. We called it the reverse thunderstorm. At exactly 12 noon, the sky turned black. Not figuratively, literally. Pitch black, and it stayed that way for about 30 seconds while a high-pitched screeching sound resonated throughout the sky. All of my neighbors were out on their porches, although I could hardly see them because of the darkness. Just watching the event happen. It was surreal. I watched them point in awe, and I watched them cower. After about 30 seconds, the darkness subsided and the screaming stopped. I saw my neighbor point in the direction of our local cornfield, and I watched as his children gathered around and pointed too. The crowd grew larger and larger, and as I pushed my way to the front, I saw what they were pointing at. Bisecting the width of the field was a line of downed planes, massive passenger jets, the nose buried in the ground, and the tails and wings sticking upwards, almost forming a giant fence. The planes stretched on as far as I could see, smoking from the engine damages. We started to search the somewhat perfectly intact wreckage, only to find no survivors. In fact, there weren't even any bodies. There were no people on these planes. The search went on for hours trying to find at least one person, but there was nothing. The planes had just appeared there with no pilots and no passengers. People in the crowd were taking pictures of the planes. Some were beginning to go back home when the sky began to darken again. It wasn't the same pitch black, though. It was like a normal storm. However, there were no previous signs of it on the news channel. I know the news can be wrong sometimes, but to just flat out miss the prediction of a huge storm? Who are you? You're not allowed to... Barnabas? Something. It's in the booth. Oh God, Barnabas. Barnabas, help me. Barnabas, please, it's coming closer. Barnabas! So sorry you had to hear that, dear listener. While our cleaning crew tackles the remains of that recording booth and our engineers try to resolve any lingering technical issues, let me tell you about one of our fine sponsors, Huxley's Cloning Facility. Let me ask you, listener, are there times in which you wish you had an extra set of hands that you could be in 2 places at once? Well, with a simple and somewhat painful process of DNA extraction, that wish could finally come true. Huxley sports state-of-the-art cloning facilities that are just outside of FDA-approved standards. What does this mean for you? Better, faster, more compliant super clones. Why go to those other guys when you could come by Huxley's? I mean, we're here right now, brewing up another fine narrator. Gestation period is only 2 hours. Hurry and get your clone today before it's too late. Oh, what? Oh, cut that part out. Oh, sorry. Huxley's, because our you is better in every way. Now that our announcer is back in the booth and has finally achieved a normal sense of motor control, back to your story. The thunder and lightning went on for ages. Probably for about 2 hours. I just happened to be looking out my window when the final bolt struck the cornfield. It was a massive jolt of lightning with seemingly millions of tendrils reaching out and brightening the whole sky, finally striking down once on each plane. The power that was coursed through the fallen aircrafts rattled into the ground, shaking the earth itself. And then it started to split. The ground shook violently as a massive ravine formed, splitting our town into 2 pieces and swallowing the passenger jets into it. It had to be about 100 feet across and stretched endlessly from the west to the east. There were no news crews on it, no television broadcasters, no radio reporters. No one outside of our town knew about it. It became a problem when food started to run out. My side of the town had the only grocery store, and the other side, well, it did not. So naturally, people attempted to cross it. All attempts were thwarted. Flying over it, you were pulled into it. This happened countless times. Every day a new helicopter would attempt to cross, only to be sucked in by the ravine's intense gravitational pull. I heard word that the north side of the town, the side that was attempting to cross the ravine, was reaching out for help, only to have the rescue teams arrive and think nothing of it. They saw nothing. How could they miss this gigantic furrow in the planet bisecting our town? People attempted to go around it, but they would never find the end. It stretched on forever. People tried to build bridges only to be sucked in along with their construction equipment. People even tried to leave, but to no avail. They would always end up back here. We are trapped. I decided to take a peek over the edge of the ravine to see how deep it was, but all I saw was a void of black that stretched on forever. And then I saw the creatures. As I gazed into the darkness, I could feel the force increasing on me, telling me to fall in. And I saw them. A line of things stationed along the walls of the ravine, opening and closing their horrific-looking orifices, which I hypothesized to be their mouths. The mouths were what was causing the gravitational pull, and we were their food. They had legs like spiders with their claws wedged in between rocks in the face of the ravine. They had no eyes. They were mainly jet black with brown and white flecks that resembled the rocks. My eyes widened in shock as I pulled myself away from the edge before I went too far, out to the point of no return. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how this isn't on the news or why outsiders can't see it, but we're running out of food and becoming theirs. The town is eerily quiet. All of the animals are gone. And soon, we will be too. Welcome back, my darling deviants. Well, tell me, did you enjoy that twisted tale? Of course you did. I knew you had that air about you, that hunger for the horrific and the macabre. So, did we spook you? If not, then file a complaint with our complaint department detailing all accounts of non-spookiness you found in this video, and we'll get back to you in 2 to 3 millennia. Give or take a business eon or two. However, if you've enjoyed what you've just heard this evening, then make sure you leave a like on this video and annihilate that subscribe button. Such a small act of obedience is exactly what we need to put the food on the table around here. There's only so many days we can have refried kidney and toe jam hash before I'm absolutely sick of it. Spoiler alert, that ship sailed long ago. Now, I must bid you adieu. I've many things to take care of, and this outro is eating into my day off. Run along now. Have no fear, we'll be here every Tuesday and Thursday to bring you another terrible tale. Go forth, my ghastly gang, and stay spooky.